welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelby and today I'm going to be doing my weekly reading wrap up from April 22nd to today the 28th. I read a total of 9 books. I read 5 romance and 4 mystery thrillers, and one of which was an ARC. So I'm really pleased with myself. I will leave all of the books down below, their links to Goodreads, and let's hop right into it. So the first book I have to talk about is Swear on This Life by Renee Carlino. This is my first Renee Carlino and I really enjoyed it. This is about a woman named Emmeline who she left Ohio back when she was 15. She had a really tough childhood and now she's in her 20s and she's living in California. She is an aspiring author and a writer, and she has not really looked back on her past in years, and she refuses to talk about it with people because it is so painful. Well, she picks up this brand new bestseller by a famous author and she reads it and realizes it is her story told through her perspective of her childhood, and it must have been written by her childhood best friend Jace because he is the only person who knows these intimate details about her, and they haven't seen each other since she was 15, and it really shakes her up because she feels anger, but she misses him and she really doesn't know how to face her past. So you're seeing currently, and then you're seeing her reading the book and learning her story. And I really loved this story. It was such a sweet romance and very touching, and you really get a sense for who she is and who Jace is, and I just fell in love with them. I ended up giving this one 4.5 stars. Next book that I read is Last Seen Alive by Claire Douglas. I love Claire Douglas's book, so I was really excited to pick this one up. This is about a married couple named Jamie and Libby who get the opportunity to do a house swap, and they've had a really tough past few months in their marriage, and they recently only got married. So their marriage has not been a cakewalk and they really need some time to repair their marriage. And they get this opportunity to do a house swap, and so they jump on the opportunity and they are so pleased because this house is so beautiful and it's huge. But things are not going as planned. Libby starts feeling like people are watching them and she starts feeling a little paranoid, but her husband just tells her she's being paranoid, but she's convinced that people are watching her. And then before long, she knows that people are because it's starting to remind her of what happened in her past years ago in Thailand, and she knows that someone knows what happened and knows what she did, and she's pretty shaken up to know that people know what she did in Thailand. And this was a really good story. It was a little bit on the slow side. It definitely was a slow burn mystery, but I liked the twists and turns. They were well timed. I just wish it was a little faster paced, and I ended up giving this one 3.75 stars. Next book that I read is an ARC, and it is called How to Hack a Heartbreak by Kristen Rockaway, and I really liked this book. I think it comes out in June or July, and this is about a woman named Melanie who's a software engineer, but she's been working at an IT desk for years and is kind of stagnant in her job. And meanwhile, since she's in her 20s, she does online dating on a Tinder type app, and she's had a ton of bad blind dates, and she wants a way to be able to fix that. And so she uses her coding skills and she makes an app called Jerk Alert, and overnight it blows up and becomes an instant success, which she was not expecting. So this is an app where you can rate and review people you've gone on dates with, so you can warn people if you've had bad dates, so people can go on this site or app before they go on a date, and it warns them not to go on a date with them. And it becomes an instant success. And Melanie is also dating someone named Alex in her office, and things are going great. She's surprised that she met someone in person and she didn't have to meet him online, but then she discovers that he has a poor rating on her app, and it kind of messes with her and messes with their relationship. So on the one hand, this app is helping build her career up and fix her life in some ways, but in the other aspect, it's kind of ruining her dating life. So I loved this story. I thought it was so cute, and I really liked Alex and Melanie as a couple, and I just thought the concept was really cute and touched my heart because I met my husband online, so it just really was funny to me and I really liked it, and I ended up giving this one 4.25 stars. The next one that I read is The Perfect Family by Shalini Boland. This one is a domestic suspense about a woman named Gemma who seems to have the perfect life. She has 2 young daughters, a really handsome husband, and a great career, but she's pretty overwhelmed by her life because it's hard to balance her home and work life. She's just so busy. So her mother-in-law recommends that she hires a nanny, and she does. And at first things are great. She really likes the nanny. Her kids like the nanny. The husband likes the nanny. But before long, she realizes something is not right, and She thinks that the nanny is trying to meddle in her life, but no one believes Gemma. They all love the nanny except Gemma. And so this was a really good twisty domestic suspense. I love Shalini Bolin. I think she does twists really well. She writes really short, tasty thrillers, and I highly recommend this one. Gave it 4 stars. Next one I have to talk about is Only You by Melanie Harlow. This is the first in the One and Only series. It is about 3 different sisters, and each sister has their own book. And this one is about the sister named Emma. She is a wedding planner and a hopeless romantic, and she's had really bad luck with dating. She wears her heart on her sleeve, and she always ends up heartbroken. Well, her neighbor Nate is a divorce attorney, and he does not believe in true love, and he's the ultimate bachelor. But they are really good friends. They love to watch Bond movies together, and they just have a really great banter. The relationship is strictly platonic because they are such opposites. They're just good friends. But one night they're watching a movie, and all of a sudden they discover a baby is left on Nate's doorstep, and it is his baby. And he doesn't know what the F to do because he isn't really parental at all. And he begs Emma to help him, and they take care of this baby together, and of course a romance ensues. And I really loved this story. I liked how it wasn't just the generic her getting pregnant and then them having this baby together. I liked that it was his baby and she just helped him, and I thought this was so sweet, and I cannot wait to read the other 2 sisters' stories. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. The next one that I read is The Lying Game by Ruth Ware. This is a very slow burn mystery about 4 friends who met in boarding school when they were in high school. And they got into a lot of trouble when they were in boarding school, and they ended up getting kicked out. And something happened while they were at boarding school that they've tried hard to forget. But now it's 17 years later, and a body has been uncovered by the school. And the girl who still lives in the town of the boarding school contacts the rest of them to ask them to come to see her. And they're all freaking out because they're worried that this body will be linked back to them. And you know that they are related to a dead body, but you don't know what happened or how. And they're kind of stuck in this house together, and things are happening. They are getting threats. Just weird things are happening. I found this one to be very slow. I did like the dual perspectives where you see them in boarding school and you see them now, but I just wish it was a little more fast paced. Sometimes I love Ruth Ware's slow burn mysteries and sometimes I don't. This one I liked and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favorite, and I gave it 3.5 stars. The next one I have to talk about is The Allure of Julian Lefray by R.S. Gray. This is the first book in the Allure duet, and I believe this is one of R.S. Gray's first publications, and I was really excited to read it. This is about a girl named Josephine who moves to New York because she is a fashion blogger and she hopes to make her way into the fashion industry. And she's been doing her blog for like 7 years, and she's just super passionate about fashion. She's super stoked that within 2 weeks of moving to New York, she gets a job at Lorena Lefray Designs. And when she shows up on her first day, she's surprised that she's not working with the owner, Lorena. She's actually working with Julian, her older brother. And we know that Julian moved to New York from Boston because Lorena is going to rehab for drug addiction, and he is helping out with the business and had to fire all of her employees and start over, and he hired Josephine. And immediately these two hit it off, but of course he's her employer and she's the employee, but they immediately become friends. He shows her the best places in New York, and she's super funny, and their banter is really cute. Of course, there's a romance that ensues, but Josephine really does not want to sacrifice this job that she's worked so hard for, and he doesn't really know what he's missing out on. And so it is definitely their romance, and this one was a lot of fun, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. Next one that I read, I was really excited for. It is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. This is one of the most, if not the most, iconic mysteries of all time. And this is one of her standalones. It is about 10 strangers who all go to an island called Soldier Island. They are all brought there for different reasons. When they get to the island, they realize the person who invited them there is not there, and some weird things start happening. The rhyme of the little soldiers' nursery rhyme is displayed all over the house, and the rhyme starts coming true. And so one by one, each of the people who are staying there dies and is picked off. You know, at the end there's not going to be anyone alive because of the title of the book, but the whole time my heart was racing, waiting for the other shoe to drop. And this was such a good mystery, and I feel like it is one that you could read over and over again trying to put the pieces together. And I really like that Agatha Christie puts an epilogue at the end where she talks about what happened and why, and I just loved that. And this was so much fun and a really great couple of hours. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. Last one I have to talk about is Losing It by Cora Carmack. This is the first in the Losing It series. It is a new adult romance about a girl named Bliss. She is a college senior. She's about to graduate college. She loves her life, but she is a virgin. And her best friend Kelsey wants to rectify that and takes her to a bar and says, you need to find someone and lose your virginity. Well, Bliss almost gives up on it because she doesn't like anyone in the bar, but then she meets this guy named Garrick, and he's sitting in the back of the bar reading Shakespeare, and they immediately hit it off and she takes him home. Well, she ends up ditching him in her bed naked, and they end up not having sex. And she wants to just leave that night behind her. It's very embarrassing. But then she goes to school on Monday and realizes he is her professor for one of her acting classes. And that scares the heck out of her. And of course it is their romance. It's a little taboo. It's pretty funny. And it was a cute, lighthearted romance. It definitely is new adult in regard to her not really having her life figured out. Has a little bit of steam. It definitely has a lot of the ingredients of new adult, but I didn't love this story. I thought I would like it more because a lot of people love it, but I ended up giving this one 3 stars. So those are all the books that I read this week. I would love to hear if you guys have read any of these books and what you guys are reading. I will link all of these down below, and I will see you guys all in my next one. Bye.